And here we are spawning in the upper right in the blue for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He is the one, the only. He's dark. And of course, on the other side of the map, in the red, give it up for Parting. As I'm sure all you sugar puppy bears, right? That's what he calls his fans in the audience. Absolutely rooting for Parting here. And Parting, he's doing something a little bit cheeky here in our game number 1. We got a sneaky probe coming on in behind the mineral line. And while this may be a cannon rush, just because that just strikes me as something Parting's gonna do here based off this probe positioning, if it is, it will be a gate forge rush, which means that it will be a proxy robo. Is the follow-up to that. It's not just if that happens, it's not just a cannon rush. It is a there we go. Forge is on the way. So this will be a we will see a proxy robo go down here as Parting looks to just really lean in to the aggression here in this game number 1, looking to cheese Dark out of things. And you know what? Cannon rushes, they're incredibly frustrating for the Zerg to deal with, so I will not be surprised if Dark just, well, it's very easy to fall over to, so we're going to have to see. Dark is now aware of things. He will pull a couple workers. Of course, the math is 3 workers for each cannon, 4 workers for each building pylon, and now, and 2 workers on the probe. So we do have the probe going on in here. Workers have been pulled. And the whole goal of these the workers here is just to really remove the probe from being able to build anything. And yeah, Parting, did he cancel his forge? No, he didn't. He just has it on the way, but he is not really getting this cannon rush up in the slightest. And this is looking pretty good for Dark. Dark says no cannon, no cannon, no cannon, no cannon, and there's in fact no cannon. So Dark's gonna be totally fine. He's gonna take his third base. A couple Zerglings are gonna go out here, and Dark is gonna be really upset because he can't even take his natural. Not for a solid forever here, because it's a full wall off. And Dark, as a response, well, he's going to chrono his warp gate, and we're gonna get to see a proxy pylon going on in here, and I expect to see something else from this proxy. I mean, it's more than just a pylon; it's more than just for warp-ins. I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple gateways, maybe a Stargate. Not exactly sure. Yep, there we go. 3 more gateways. So this is just going to be a 1 base 4 gate. When was the last time you saw that in ZVP and PVZ? I'm pretty sure the answer is 5 years ago. A previous expansion. 1 base 4 gate. Not really. I mean, okay, proxy 4 gate, that's the thing. Where you just go start rallying 4 zealots into your opponent's main base. But not this level of 4 gate. Not the, I'm going to warp in a bunch of stuff and do that. Yeah, that's not really a thing. Not anymore. And it looks like Dark will be able to scout this. He is certainly aware of the fact that there is no natural. And as long as there's no natural, spines are the order of the day here. As Dark not overcommitting to this in the slightest. And yeah, the Zergling, he's gonna find all this too. Now this is a nice gate flower, so these gateways will never be depowered. The gateways might die, but that's just gonna be the only situation where the things get depowered here. And a warp gate, it's 10 seconds from completion, so we should see a warp in of a bunch of stalkers probably. I think that will be the tech of the day. Into the just outside this flower of power here. So there we go. 4 stalkers now on the way. And the aggression does commence. The dayman comes. So we see proxy forward pylon coming on in here as well to allow Parting. See, no, he's killed his forge. I'm not really sure what he's doing with that, because I mean realistically, you're not warping in from there. Slow warp-ins are just not a good thing. So now the stalkers are going on in. This is 4 stalkers against just a lot more speed Zerglings. There we have it. GG. Dark. He takes game 1. Just like that. Because you know what? When you go for a cannon rush, and it doesn't work, and then you're locked into your main base, and then you go for a 4 gate, and your opponent scouts those 4 gates, it's not looking good. Not looking good at all, but hey, you know what? This is a best of 5. Series is not over just because game number 1 didn't work out in Parting's favor. Let's get into game 2. Here we are, spawning in the bottom right in the bottom right in the red, down 1-0 in this best of 5. Give it up for Parting. And in the upper left, in the blue, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, he is the one, the reigning world champion. He's Dark. Spartan not exactly showing a desire for a cannon rush here in this game number 2, but now Dark, he's doing something a little bit sneaky here. We do have a drone finding its way onto the other side of the map. This is probably for a proxy hatchery. Now the question is whether this will be a proxy hatchery to deny Parting to expand, or whether this will be an aggressive proxy hatchery. Only time will tell. I think it's just going to be the one to deny the... No, it's not. Okay. We do have this hatchery on the way here. This will be unscouted, of course. It will be unscouted until creep comes out, or Parting gets really next level and his star sense will tingle to the extreme and do all that off. So this is hatch gas pool. We do have the drone did go to the 3rd, but we do not see Dark building that. In fact, he's not going to do anything with it at all. He will move this across to the other side of the map to allow for a spine to start building as soon as the hatchery does complete. And this is just a really cool move from Dark here in this game number 2, showing that he can do more than just win in a defensive game, in a macro game. He has some really cool builds as well. As, yeah, no natural, no 3rd base, Dark. Well, this is going to be a fun one here. Buckle up your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. This game, it's going to go crazy pretty dang fast. So, Parting, not aware of what's happening, not yet. Now, he is... yeah, that's not even... The probe is just sitting on in the main base. As a couple... Well, actually, yeah. What's happening there? Okay, yeah, it's just going to fight a little. But this is probably one of the longest possible amounts of time that you actually keep the probe in the main base, which is really bad for Dark here. Or really bad for Parting, excuse me. As he's only just now will see... Oh, wait. There's no 3rd. Wait a minute. What's up? What's happening here? Well, I'll tell you exactly what's happening. We have a spine push on the way. He has a bunch of circlings are on the way. A couple more drones on the way here because Dark just wants more and more and more spines. Queen's on the way as well. And this is going to be tricksy time here for our red Protoss player. As yeah, we have 4 spines now on the way, and drones or probes will be pulled to try to deal with this. So 1 spine will not complete. As Dark should cancel that. Yeah, he will. But the drone will go down in exchange. But now the Queen is up. 1 spine is already done. And suddenly, well, you denied 1 spine. 3 more are on the way, and we have more and more workers on the way as well. So we will get more and more spines coming up here. So now the spines, they unburrow, they move forward, and now they're in range of everything that Parting does hold dear as the push does commence. Speed is done in just about 20 seconds as the Zerglings, they're not looking to fight into this choke, not yet, but spines do a really good job against structures, and that's their big goal here, as they're going to look to do and just remove all the static defense here from the map, as yeah, the shield batteries are starting to get taken down. Well, that, not the adept, because again, you don't want to fight the army units until the shield batteries are down here. So we do have 2 are down, and there we go. The spine will take this 3rd one out as well. Zerglings fighting now that speed is done here, and now we have a shield battery overcharge, but the spine can reach it, so not the biggest of deals. Now 1 spine, it looks like it may be ready to go down here, but of course Zerglings clogging the ramp, that's really not going to be a thing. And now more and more Zerglings on the way, but Parting, he's looking at a pretty good spot here to make this hold. He's doing good damage to these spines. He hasn't lost a ton. He's kept all of his units alive because, well, he just has enough shield batteries. But now the Zerglings, they're running on in here, and the shield batteries, they're out of energy. So this is becoming a little bit more problematic for Dark. Now Dark has been able, for Parting now, because Parting has been able to retreat back to where there are more and more shield batteries, and he has just this really nice concave of shield batteries that makes it so, yeah, you know, his units cannot retreat back to the safety of their own base. But on the flip side, yeah, there we have it. GG, Parting, he's going to make the hold. And we're going to go to 1-1. So yes, his units were not able to retreat back into the natural, but if the units have to go back that far, the game is probably lost anyways. And he just had so many shield batteries that nothing was dying. There was just not enough burst damage. So yeah, the spines were doing a good job of removing the shield batteries. Of removing the adept. I think they got the adept, but nothing more than that. And that means we're tied up 1-1 in this best of 5. 2 really quick games. Hopefully we'll get something a little bit longer, a little bit more enticing in this game number 3. But we got it all loaded up. So let's go. And here we are, spawning in the upper right in the red for Dragon, or erstwhile of Dragon Phoenix Gaming, but getting dropped just recently. in the red. He's parting. And in the bottom left, in the blue, for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, give it up for Dark. It's kind of funny. Dragon Phoenix Gaming had a great roster. They had Parting, they had Dark, they had one other player I'm forgetting. But then Rogue becomes a free agent. They say, you know what, we could have Parting. He's a great player, but he's a Protoss player. And there's some argument to be made that Protoss is maybe not quite as strong as Zerg is right now. And Rogue is a free agent, so they go, they drop Parting. The contract is not renewed, and they say, yeah, Rogue is our best friend now, is our new friend. And you know what? I don't think anyone can blame them, even ignoring balanced discussions. Dark Rogue had won GSL Season 2. He is a multi-time world champion, and yes, Parting is a world champion as well. He did win BlizzCon back in the day, but he has not been quite as good since his return to the scene. He's been very good. He's been a round of 8, round of 4 Protoss, but he has not won a GSL. Alright, so in this game, number 3, Dark, he's not doing anything weird. Yeah, of course did have to take his natural at his third, but that's just because Parting went for the probe block, and no harm, no foul. Parting, though, he's going for a rather quick Twilight Council here, and I would not be surprised to see this go on into Adept, into the Gladept play. But actually, this is a really fast Twilight, actually. Generally, I think that the Gladept Twilight Council goes down at about 2:45, 3 minutes. And this is a 2-minute and 25-second Twilight Council, so I'm interested to see what Parting is going to go for here. Probably something aggressive, because A, when you get tech that early, that's what that generally means. But also, he's Parting. He's an aggressive player. So we have the Robo on the way. Actually, this may just be Glaive Adept play. As we just keep an eye on things. So Dark, for his part, bunch of queens on the way. And we just keep droning. We will hit that, actually this is going to be a, surprisingly enough, just a slightly faster 320 speed instead of 330 speed. There we go. Glaives are on the way. I just think Dark, or Parting, just took that Twilight Council just a little bit faster than normal, but not really going to impact the timing all that much, as that 430 timing is still possible. And this is 3 more gates, so 4 gate Glaives. We're not going to see anything too all in here. Parting most likely just going to take his third base behind this, and that's kind of the standard play, the way Glaive Adept play happens in this game right now. So we have a couple of spores on the way. Roach Warren is on the way here, as Dark has really not been able to scout a whole lot, so he's just going for that middle of the road solid defensive play. Roach Warren by 340, Spores by 330, and ooh, Parting, he's doing a little bit something a little bit cheeky. You're going up to a full 6 gates in this game number 3. He says, you know what, 4 gate Glaives, it's great, it works pretty well. Not as much as it used to. Zerg players have really figured out how to hold it at this point, but still pretty good. What if we go for 6 gates? What if we go even more aggressive here in this game? And the cool thing about this, of course, is the extra 2 gates will not be done for the first warp. And you might say, hey, Bayo, why is that cool? Well, it's cool because if Dark ever gets to see the warp, and he will see that it is only for Adepts warping, and so he can say, oh, this is 4 gate Adept. I know how to hold this. And then when it starts coming in 6 Adepts at the time, maybe he has overcommitted a little bit, or maybe he has undercommitted to the defense. As now we do have the Adepts coming on in here, and this is actually really cool. So this is the, I believe this is actually Dark who started this, where you go and you don't get as many roaches. You just get a bunch of Ravagers, and you go for a mass circling. And actually, oh, Dark is going to be able to shell away, remove that first set of 6 Adepts. But now 6 Adepts to find their way on into the main base, and now we're starting to see a little bit of worker damage here. Not a ton, but just a little, as workers will have to be pulled. Adepts now in the main base, doing a really good job of denying that. So 6 more Adepts are on the way. This time, though, it looks like the Zerglings may look to surround this. Alright, so now Zerglings on into the third base. A couple more workers will go down, but the Adepts will trade their lives in exchange. And actually, now we're starting to see a little bit of damage. 7 workers do go down. But Dark has been really on top of pulling his workers away. Make sure that he does not lose too much here. So he has only lost, I believe, 10 workers over the course. 9, 10, there we go, 10 workers over the course of this game. But hey, now it's starting to snowball a little. 10, 11, 12 workers now dying in this most recent push. And yeah, there's Zerglings surrounding things, but Zerglings, they don't trade with Adepts all that well. So, yeah, the Zerglings, they're getting these cleanups eventually. Keyword, though, is eventually now here. Now, Parting in the exchange, she's going for a Dark Shrine follow-up behind this. And notice the fact that this Spore in the main base is really low. So, yes, there is still detection on in the main base, but if you're able to go and get DTs in there immediately, well, it's going to be a pretty good deal. That Spore will go down pretty fast, but of course, Dark, he's got a lair on the way. All right, now a couple more Adepts will find their way out into the third base, and 1-for-1 trading here at this point. Actually, yeah, 5 workers do go down. Dark is actually getting a decent amount of damage done, or Parting is actually getting a decent amount of damage done, but you got to remember, Parting has traded a lot for this. He's traded many, many resources. He does not have a third on the way. 29 Adepts have sacrificed themselves. 30, make that 31. And now, +1 melee is on the way here. Baneling Nest is on the way. Lair is done, and Dark, he's just going, I imagine he's just going to go for a really big Sledgehammer build here. Coming on in. Now, we do have a big Warpin on the main base, but no, with the Bios coming down, the Warpin will be forced to get canceled. And yes, these Adepts may get the Ravagers, but it's just going to be about it. And now Adepts finding their way on into the third. Not really going to do a whole lot. Now they find their way into the natural as well. Drone's being pulled, though, and Zerglings with a full surround. Dark, he's in a really good spot here, up 30 supply. Alright, now a couple DTs will get dropped here, but there's detection. So 1 DT will go down, but 1 DT is, of course, in the mineral line, removing a couple workers. But you got to remember, this is 8-minute DT reveal. This is not really going to be all that impactful. And yeah, Dark has lost 26 workers over the course of this game, but he's lost them in drips and drabs. And so realistically, that has not been as impactful as losing 26 workers at once to a Adept Warpin or something. So Dark, he's totally fine here on 61 workers. He might want to be a little bit more, but he's on 61. He's doing fine. And he's actually got a drop getting ready on the other side of the map. That's pretty cool. But now the DT's coming on in once again, and they will get just about nothing done. So we have this drop coming on up into the main base here. 7 Zerglings. They're going to see whether they can maybe get some good counter pressure done. Really force Parting out of this game. To see whether that gets anything done here. Is now +1 is now done, actually. Baneling speed is most of the way done here. More and more roaches are on the way. Roach speed on the way as well. Now Zerglings, they do find their way on into the main base. +1 is done, so they're going to be that much more impactful. And we do have a couple Warpins, but the Warpins are not going to get a whole lot done here. As the Zealots, they're just going to get surrounded and killed. 3 workers do go down. And, well, we have a Robo-Bay on the way. And actually, really good job. The DTs will be able to force the cancel on the force base for the moment, but Dark, he's got his army there. He's got detection there. Well, really not going to do that much for all that long. And Parting, his third base is only just now done. All right. Oh wow, this is starting to be a little bit more impactful here. Parting is able to force a cancel on this fourth base once again. Dark just really not having his detection in order for the moment. And now it looks like it's going to be Disruptor play coming on in from our red Protoss player. +1 on the way as well. Again, this is a really late +1, but everything is late for Parting at this point. And Dark is sitting here on a 50 supply lead, 30 army supply, and 30 workers as well. So somehow, 50 supply is actually 60 supply because of rounding errors. You're welcome, everyone who has tuned in at home to watch this. You know what they say about math on stream? I think the answer is don't do it. Alright, now a bunch of blink stalkers. They will start to put pressure on this fourth base. Once again, they're going to see whether they can remove it, but they will not be able to here. Not really. So they will be forced back. And these Zerglings, of course, Zerglings trade well against oh, nice run by here. Only 4 workers will go down. Actually, Parting's getting his own counter pressure. So, Parting, while he is not in a good spot in this game, don't get me wrong, he has done a really good job of doing significant counter pressure, making it hard for Dark to move across the map and in the game. But now Dark says, you know what, nuts to this, let's get aggressive. That being said, though, here's a choke, a couple disruptors, and this is a hard choke for Dark to push on into. And Dark lost 10 workers. His fourth base is only just now up. It's actually fairly damaged too, so a DT run by could theoretically get something done later. And now we got a disruptor drop coming in. Oh, we're going to see some disruptor flanks coming on up here for our red Protoss player. That's going to be really cool. Should it work out? Alright, so now as we have Parting posturing here, looking to see what he can get done outside of the fourth base of Dark. We do have a big run by attempted by Dark, but of course, Parting, he's on top of things. He's not really going to let that happen. But this is, oh, with disruptor drops coming on in a little bit too early, and only one Ravager will go down. Second one will zone out as well, and that's going to get a much juicier connection, but it's still not enough. He's still down 30 army supply, and that is a problem indeed. Baneling's crashing on into everything. Roach Ravager crashing on into everything. Plus 2, these, of course, this is +2 melee. Baneling's running on into the third base here. Dark, Parting, he doesn't have the pull. Everything is going to go down. 22 workers have died, and now the Roaches, they're going to get on top of this army. That disruptor shot is going to be the best possible one, though. So, Dark maybe not be able to take the fight that he's looking for. The boss will land, though. Dark can't really take the fight that he looks for, but as long as he just doesn't abjectly die, as long as he just does not fall apart, he's in a really good spot in this game because, well, he just killed 22 workers and Parting's not really resupplying that. Alright, so now we have Colossus on the way here. Zerglings will find their way on into the third base. The third base that just actually has just no mining in it whatsoever. Not really. So now, what is this? A DT is just going to sit on top of the army. Or, excuse me, a disruptor drop is going to sit on top of the army. And, oh no, the Biles will not land. Just barely not land. And Parting's army has been forced home once again. The Zergling counterattack doing anything and everything. And, okay, there we go. Oh, disruptor drop gets shot down. Oh, that is catastrophic here. So it looks like we had a Zergling elevator. Or, maybe that was just a run by on into the main base as well. So 9 more workers do go down. Parting here, 26 workers, 59 army supply. He's down 100 total supply. It's not looking good for our Protoss hero. He's got one last push in him maybe. But even then, it's not going to be good. So I think what we're going to see happen here is Parting is going to wait for extended thermal lance to be done. He's going to try to make that one last-ditch effort push. Paint some artistry with a bunch of sentries, but this may just be it here as, what is this, something like 60 Zerglings streaming their way on into the main, into the natural. And Parting says, you know what? Doesn't even matter. Extended thermal lance will finish. That's all I care about. It's time for me to make my push. This is all or nothing. Going full of base trade here as Parting, or as Dark, will target down one of his creep tumors. But the force fields will be okay. They will not be transcendent. And Parting just looking to do what he can. So many buildings are getting depowered here. Everything's going down. And there we have it. GG. Dark takes game number 3. So now we have Dark at match point, at series point here in this game Game number 4 is, of course, win or go home. This is the loser's bracket. Dark looking to find his way onwards. Parting as well, but Parting, he's got a little bit of work cut out for him if he's going to want to come back, find his way back on into this series. So, game 4. It's just about loaded up. So let's get into it. And here we are spawning in the bottom right in the blue for erstwhile, well, formerly of Dragon Phoenix Gaming, now playing for himself and himself alone. He's Parting. And in the upper left, in the red, for Dragon Phoenix Gaming this time. In the red, give it up for Dark. As we do see Parting going for a gate expand here, I would not be surprised to see some sort of Stargate tech coming out in from Parting on this map. He's tried for some aggressive stuff. Every bit of aggression that he has tried has failed. The one game that he has won was because he held his opponent's aggression. So I don't know what that says about how the way this series is going to go, but it says something. And of course, this map, it has a relatively free third base. Fourth base is a little bit harder, but free 3 bases, and that's kind of what you're looking at. What you're looking for when you look to see whether you can make that Stargate play happen, and that, well, I believe that what we're going to see Parting go for here. May not, but you got to remember, Parting was one of those players that first unlocked the potential of these Void Ray openings. Granted, it was against Terran, but still, he unlocked the potential of these Void Ray openings once 5.05 landed, once we saw those Void Ray buffs. He killed Innovation 5-0 or 5-1 in a best of 9, and yeah, he realized just quite how powerful Void Rays could possibly be. So we're going to have to see what happens here. Void Rays, they're not the most microable units, so that's the one reason why we might not see Parting go for that. As Parting is perhaps the most micro-focused Protoss player in the game today. What is that? Sorry about that. If you heard some sound through my microphone, well, my roommate just absolutely cranked the volume on the TV in the other room for half a second on accident, and well, it got really loud, so apologies. But yep, we now have our Stargate on the way here. And the question is whether we're going to see a second, and whether this is just the defensive Stargate. You get a Void Ray, and you get a couple Oracles maybe, and you be a little bit aggressive, a little bit defensive, or whether this will be the committed Skytoss style that we've seen so often in the previous weeks from a myriad different Protoss players. But Dark for his part, he's just running up. Third base just about done. More and more queens on the way here. Now the Adept will find its way into that location. This is where things get a little bit annoying. This is why being forced to take that third can be a little bit annoying here, because Adepts can circulate between the main and the third base, or the natural, just a little bit easier. And that's exactly what we're going to see. Actually, no, the Adept's just going to go up, because speed's done in 6 seconds, and you don't want to lose your Adept this early. It's a key defensive tool should Dark decide just open up the taps and go and just flood Zerglings across the map. Now that's not what he's doing, but well, maybe something he decides. It is an option for him to do. It's not a very Dark-like move, but yeah, he's got a game to give, so why not? Now we have Void Rays on the way. Looking to see here whether Parting does go for that really early, that 3 minutes and 45 seconds, 3 minutes 50 seconds, 4-minute third base that is so popular outside of these Stargate openers, or whether you're going to look to do something a little bit more conservative. There we go. Third base on the way, just about 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Not the earliest possible one, but certainly not slow by any stretch of the imagination. As the Void Rays continue to shark around, looking to see if they can get any and every little bit of scouting denial. It's going to be fairly nice, but the question is whether Parting after this, whether he drops that second Stargate, whether he does truly commit to this mass Stargate style, or whether he's just going to go for something a little bit different. So Oracle's going to float on in. Realistically, it doesn't get a whole lot done. Realistically, it should not get a whole lot done. There we go. Second Stargate on the way. So what we're going to see here. Oh, triple Stargate place. Parting going for the committed Sky Toss into Sky Toss style. So this is a less popular variant of this build. There are really two major variants of the Stargate into double Stargate build. There's this one where it's actually Stargate into triple Stargate. You just get tons and tons of Void Rays. You go kind of pretty much oh no, never mind. This is going to be a mass Phoenix build here. Oh, this is cool. This is an anachronistic style coming on in from Parting, and that's pretty cool because when you see these Stargate openers, you almost never see Phoenix, not anymore. So, Parting playing against the meta here, and I do like this. He's going to play against the meta and hopefully catch Dark off guard. There we do see our Phoenix on the way, waiting for that third one. There we go. And Dark is looking to pull this as long as he can. He does have the Void Ray out first, and what that means is there's just going to be no scout of these Phoenix for quite a bit. So Parting will be able to pull his Phoenix up until that, 11, 12 ish mark, 3 or 4 cycles of Phoenix production before he moves across the map and really reveals them. And that means that first hammer blow is going to be incredibly impactful. And yeah, there are spores in these bases, but you got to remember, 1 spore per base, it's not enough. The math realistically is 1 spore per Stargate. So double Stargate Phoenix, 2 spores per base. Triple Stargate's Phoenix, 3 spores per base. Is the way you kind of do that just to make sure you don't lose too much here. And while Dark, for his part, he does have a Hydra Den on the way. 13 Hydras on the way here with all that banked up gases. He will continue just to spend that off. And now we just have a bunch of Phoenix spinning their way, flying their way across the map here. 9 Phoenix total, going up to at least 11. And now they will find this Overlord pretty nicely. Now all the Queens' lives are going to just be forfeit here, as they will be lifted, killed off. But actually, with all the Hydras here, all the Queens all here, this is not the reveal that Parting was looking for in the slightest, as Dark will be able to defend that most appropriately. Oh yeah, some Queens are going down, but Phoenix are dying as well. And really, 3 Phoenix for 2 Queens? But now the Void Rays will find this position on the left-hand side, and that just means more Void Rays are going to go down. Now, this is actually the move that Parting is looking for. He will be able to lift all the Queens, kill all of them off, and now that is a significant force reduction in terms of anti-air. And the Hydras, well, they don't have speed yet. They're still a little bit slow, and yeah, speed only affects off creep, but there's still parts of this map that are off creep, especially when we're looking at defending the edges of the bases. So, Dark, he was able to defend. He didn't lose too much, but he did lose a solid 5 Queens. Oh, this is pretty cool. So, Dark going for Mass Hydra here as a response to this Mass Phoenix play, and that makes a lot of sense. But look at this Parting behind this. We have Extended Thermal Lance on the way. We have Blink on the way. We have +1 on the way, and 2 Colossus at a time. So yeah, these Hydras will be able to deal with the Phoenix pretty well, but they will not be able to deal with the Colossus that sit there on the back and just fire away. Because of course the Hydras are light units. Colossi do bonus damage to light. There's the Phoenix sharking on in once again, and if they do find an open drone line, they will absolutely be able to do a ton of damage to it. But the trick is finding the open drone line without losing too much. So 3 workers go down, 3 workers for Phoenix. That's on the edge of being acceptable. It's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great here. But you got to remember, Parting's going for some really cool attack paths in this game. He doesn't want to lose his Phoenix, but he's okay with losing 1 or 2, especially if he allows Dark to feed into the idea that he's just going pure Phoenix. But Dark actually appears to have scouted what's happening here. A bunch of roaches on the way. Infestation pit on the way. How many Phoenix are left? We're only on only on 5 Phoenix. Did we just lose a... Looks like the Phoenix ran over something that I must have missed off screen. So a bunch of Phoenix have now gone down. The Phoenix force is not nearly as impactful as it once was. And now we do have Dark getting ready to get his own bit of aggression on. And notice here, Parting, He's pushing out onto the map. He wants to make it so he just doesn't get shoved on into his own base. And nice reveal there. He will see that the army, what's up with this army. This is 2 Colossus, bunch of Blink Stalkers, and the question is whether Parting will be able to get the force field that he's looking for. The first ones will be pretty bang on point here, and now he's going to just take the fight on the right-hand side, try to chase down so many of these Hydras. The Void Ray will go down, and Dark for the moment does not have the force fields that he's looking for, but now we have a full surround coming on in here. Force fields on the left-hand side are going to be really good, but the Colossi, they're not firing away at the appropriate targets here. And now the Hydras, they're getting on top of them. 1 Colossus will go down, 2 Colossus will go down. Actually, no, only 1 Colossus will go down. It's really nice. Warp Prism Micro here will come to fruition. Now all the Phoenix, they will get targeted down, and Dark's now sitting up here, 50's total supply, and this is just a really nice concave for Dark to fight on into, as long as he does not push too far forward here into this fight, and he will be forced back. 1 force field, 1 swarm host on the way. The accidental swarm host. But now we have a Lurker Den on the way. Hive is complete, and a couple of Vipers are on the way. So as long as Dark does not lose, as long as he does not trade too terribly in this fight, and he will not, considering this massive surround, as Hydras will go forward, targeting down the Warp Prism, which means the Colossi, their lives are now forfeit. And, well, you gotta target, there we go, now the Colossi will get targeted down, and these are +2 Roach Hydra against +1 Blink Stalker, so this is absolutely a really good fight for Dark to possibly take here. He's gonna look to pylon in. Now, he really can't get up the high ground, not really, not with all the static defense, not with the defender's advantage, but he will be able to trade pretty positively in the mid-fight. And now +1 Carapace on the way as well, +3 attack, and the Lurker Den is just about done. And our Stalkers will blink on forward and see whether they can maybe remove this third base. That's actually going to be a really nice move for Parting here. Look at that. He snipes third and just recalls. He says, oh, I'm out. Really nice move there from Parting. Snatching, I'm not going to say victory from the jaws of defeat, because A, the game's not over, and B, it's not a game-winning move. It's just a equalizing move here, as he's down half the army supply of his opponent. And, well, we have Lurker Tech is on the way, so it's not just half the army supply. I mean, this is going to be an incredibly expensive army coming in from Dark sooner rather than later. Now, we do have the Swarm Host coming on in, but that's not going to do a whole lot here. As the Roach Hydra army sitting there, oh, that's a really nice Blinding Cloud. Really nice Blinding Cloud. So many Stalkers, they're just forced to fight right now there, and they can't fight right there. So the 4th base of Parting will go down. A base for a base, and this is much more impactful for... Oh, that was so cool. So notice Dark, he goes forward, looks for the Abduct, and the Colossus goes into the Warp Prism, but now the Warp Prism is just going to get abducted, so the Warp Prism and the Colossus both go down. But that's a really cool save here for the moment. Not really going to matter, though, at the end of the day. As Parting, still, he's going to struggle to hold. But the army supply differential, it's falling. It's getting a little bit closer. It's now only 30 army supply instead of 60. But now, oh, that blink forward is going to be a little bit questionable. A little bit questionable indeed, as Dark returns the favor. Says, no, back up. Back up. But hey, we do have more and more Colossus on the way here. And the Vipers, they don't have energy. So now they do is they're going to go and abduct 1 more Colossus. That will get targeted down. How many Colossus have died this game? 5 Colossi have died. And now, Dark with the full surround coming on in once again. This is just Blink Stalker Colossus. And this is not a good trade for Parting in the second. Down below 100 supply. And he's now down 60. Dark is tripling his army supply. I think we saw some Lurkers on the way. Now we see some Lurkers on the way. Okay. Alright, so how does Parting find his way back in this game? He's sitting here on 3 bases. Does not have a 4th. Dark is taking his 5th. Dark has taken 5th. He's just not really mining from it yet because he doesn't realistically need to. And he's getting his pressure on here with a bunch of Lurkers getting ready to move on in. Of course, these Lurkers, they have seismic spines. They have adaptive talent, so they can very much easily get on in things. Now, this probe will find that there is a base, and that's nice. But you got to notice here, Dark, he preemptively removed the static defense, which means that his Lurkers can burrow pretty easily. So there we have a abduct on 1 Colossus, and it looks like the Warp Prism was able to save it. Really nice moves there from Parting, of course, as he looks to just try to make sure he stays alive. And the army of Dark is really just kind of falling apart. I mean, he's still at 175 armies, 175 supply, 94 army supply, but the army that was pushing on in, it did evaporate to the lasers of Dark, or of Parting. Of course, you just gotta wait for the resupply. And now these are +3 lurkers. They are incredibly powerful units here, as they will just keep firing and firing and firing. And the army of Parting, I mean, he's trying to do what he can, and he will be able to clean this army of Dark up. So there it goes. We'll blink forward, remove those last 2 lurkers. But now Zerglings, they're on top of this, what was once a 4th base, now a long-distance mining position here from Parting. And yeah, he's taking these fights, and they're kind of looking okay for him, but look at the supply. Well, you know what, to be fair, the army supply is closer than it has been in quite a while. That's not Parting. What is perhaps his last hurrah here is looking to get this perfect coming on in once again. You gotta remember, Lurkers are really good against Colossus because, well, I mean, Lurkers have the same range as Colossus with the extra range. So that makes life a little bit difficult. As Parting, he's gonna micro backward, looking to really force the units into chokes here, but now, well, 1 Abduct will go down. Lurker does not even die. It's 1 Colossus and a bunch of Blink Stalkers. 36 army supply to 108, and yes, the force fields will be really good. Parting is an artist, but only so much artistry. Yeah. You need oil, you need brushes, and Parting is just lacking on the materials he needs to really make sure that his artistry happens. As now Dark is going to crush on forward here, taking a really good trade. It's 3-2 versus 2-0, and now the army is crushing forward. Roach Hydra, Viper coming on in with enough energy to just abduct the Warp Prism, and that may be what we see here as Dark's army. It's just running on forward. Only 5 Stalkers left on the map, 22 army supply, 211, and GG Dark. He's going to move on in this loser's bracket.